Good afternoon. Bill Ulivari with another episode of Investing Takes a Walk. And today we're going to talk about market capitalization. So what is the news media? What do investors, what do financial companies mean by market capitalization? Market capitalization is a way of determining how big a company is, the value of the company. And how that's determined is you take the price of the stock and you multiply it by the total number of shares outstanding. That gives you a dollar value to give you an indication of just how big a company is. And so the S&P 500 is an index that represents about 75% of all the economy of the United States. And investors, and again, news media use different metrics to determine what companies should be inside the S&P 500. But there's also some really interesting different takes on that, one-off takes, I guess you could say. So the S&P 500, again, represents the top 75% companies generally in market size, like how big they are. The top companies, of course, being Microsoft, Apple Computer, Amazon, Walmart. Huge mega companies based on the share price times the number of shares outstanding. And again, the S&P 500, which is a cap-weighted index, generally holds the biggest companies. Microsoft represents about 5.6% of the index. Apple Computer represents about 5.08% of the index. And of the 500 companies that are in the S&P 500, the top 1% or the top 50 companies control about 54% of the index. So if the top 10 aren't doing very good, the index is not doing very good. At least 54% of the index is not doing good. Now let's compare that with another S&P 500 exchange traded fund. And that symbol is RSP. RSP is an equal weighted S&P 500. So every company, same number of 500 companies, but each company only has a small percentage of all 500. So companies like Apache, Halliburton, energy companies represent about 0.3% of the index, where the lowest one is a news media company that represents 0.01%. So each company in the equal weighted index is about the same, 0.3, 0.25, 0.27%, all the way down to about 0.01, where the S&P 500 starts at 5%, 5.6% in the case of Microsoft, and works its way down. So you might remember the TV show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And when a contestant was kind of stumped for coming up with an answer to a question, he had several choices of how to answer that question. One would be to phone a friend, ask an expert, 50-50, phone a friend, if I didn't already say that. And so it was a way of answering a question. And the equal weighted index is a lot like polling the audience. Remember, the lights would dim and the camera would shine toward the audience, and everybody got one vote. So it didn't matter how smart you are, it didn't matter how not smart you are. The idea was one vote, one person. That's a lot like equal weighted index. Each company gets about the same vote, where the cap-weighted index, like Microsoft, the bigger you are, the more you control the index. And that's all for today. Another episode of Investing Takes a Walk. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Bye.